Happy Monday! How are you all? I hope you've had a lovely, lovely weekend. I hope you've been outside. The weather was actually not too bad in the end, wasn't it? We thought it was going to be not so good, but it was okay. I hope you've had a nice time. I hope there's been some things that you've found to do this weekend and you're ready for the week ahead. I've got a great story for you today, but we will start our assembly with a peace be with you. So important, peace. And actually, the story that I've chosen is called Have You Filled Your Bucket Today? And I'm sorry, the pictures aren't totally brilliant, the way they've transferred into my Prezi presentation, but the messages are fantastic. And I wanted to tell you that one of the reasons that I've chosen this story, not just because it's an absolutely brilliant story, but because in the story there are pictures of lots of different types of people. Like there are lots of different types of people in the world, and there are people with different skin colours, there are people with different abilities and disabilities, there are old people, young people, people of different shapes and sizes. And it's really important that we remember that everybody's the same inside. So this story is partly about that. But I think that the reason I've chose it is because you might have been hearing things in the news this week and last week about lots of people getting very cross, and they're getting very cross because of something called racism. So at the moment, there's two big things in the news. There's the coronavirus, which is messing up everybody and causing lots of problems, and we're trying to get past that. But then there's also racism. And racism is when somebody is treated differently, perhaps unfairly or unkindly because of their skin colour. So it's got nothing to do with their heart or their soul or their brain or anything. It's just to do with their skin colour. Now, I've never had anyone be racist towards me, and I think that's probably because my skin colour is what they call white, even though I'm sort of pinky, aren't I really? And some of you will have the same skin colour as me, or a slightly different skin colour, and some of you will have darker skin. You might have brown skin, you might have skin that people call black. And we know, you are very clever in our school, you know that makes no difference to anybody and that we're all the same. But over the years, for hundreds and hundreds of years, people sometimes have been treated differently because of their skin colour. And it's really important, actually, that we talk about this. And it's really important that we don't let this happen, and that if we hear people treating people differently because of their skin colour, or anything else for that matter, that we do stand up and say, hang on a minute, that's not okay. Because everybody in our world deserves to be treated the same, or with equal rights. People deserve to have respect, and they deserve for people to look after them and treat them in a good way, and of course for people to be kind. So that brings me on to my story. So there's lots of reasons that I chose it this morning, and I hope that it will just give you a little bit of thinking time. So it's called Have You Filled a Bucket Today? It's great. It is actually an American story, so they call children kids, as you know, even though you're not baby goats. But I have to bear with me because I still think it's a great story. All day long, everyone in the whole wide world walks around carrying an invisible bucket. I've got my invisible bucket right here. Okay, so you will never see it. There you go. You can't see it, but it's there. Curious. You have a bucket, and each member of your family has a bucket. Now, I just want you to hold your bucket for a minute, okay? Here's your invisible bucket. Got it? Yeah, pick it up. It might be on the floor. Everyone's got one. Your grandparents, your friends and neighbours all have buckets. Everyone carries an invisible bucket. Your bucket has one purpose only. Its purpose is to hold your good thoughts and good feelings about yourself. Sounds like a good bucket. You feel happy and good when your bucket is full, and you feel sad and lonely when your bucket is empty. Other people feel the same way too. They're happy when their buckets are full and they're sad when their buckets are empty. It's great to have a full bucket, and this is how it works. Other people can fill your bucket and you can fill theirs. You can fill your own bucket too. So, how do you fill a bucket? Now, I think it's quite hard to fill your bucket at the moment. I do. Certainly for me, I know that when I fill my bucket, it's by doing things with my friends, and I can't see my friends. So my bucket is not maybe quite as full as I would like it, but let's see what else the story says. You fill a bucket when you show love to someone, when you say or do something kind, or even when you give someone a smile. That's being a bucket filler. Good stuff. A bucket filler is a loving, caring person who says and does nice things to make others feel special. When you treat others with kindness and respect, you fill their bucket. There's our school values there, guys, kindness and respect. So it's easy, okay? I'm going to just fill your bucket now with a smile. That's for all of you. But you can also dip into a bucket and take out some good feelings. You dip into a bucket when you make fun of someone, when you say or do mean things, or even when you ignore someone. That's bucket dipping. Doesn't sound so great. Bullying is bucket dipping. When you hurt others, you dip into their bucket, and you will dip into your own bucket too. Many people who dip have an empty bucket. They may think that they can fill their own bucket by dipping into someone else's, but that will never work. You will never fill your own bucket when you dip into somebody else's. I can see that. But guess what? When you fill someone's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. You feel good when you help others feel good. All day long, we are either filling up or dipping into each other's buckets by what we say and what we do. Try to fill a bucket and see what happens. So I'm going to keep reading the story in a minute, but this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do today and all this week. I want you to be trying to fill other people's buckets. It might be people in your household, or it might be people that you're seeing outside your household from a distance, or it might be people that you're seeing maybe on Zoom or on Teams or on FaceTime or any of those things. You love your mum and dad. Why not tell them you love them? You can even tell them why. Your caring words will fill their buckets with joy. They definitely will. Watch for smiles to light up on their faces. You will feel like smiling too. A smile is a good clue that you have filled a bucket. If you practice, you'll become a great bucket filler. Just remember that everyone carries an invisible bucket, and think of what you can say or do to fill it. How could you be a great bucket filler? I think we've talked about this a bit. Now, you could invite the new person at school to play with you. Now, that's going to be a bit tricky for some of you at the moment. I do know that, but it's still something to think about and something that I know that you will do in the future. You could write a thank you note to your teacher, who may actually be your mum or dad agent at the moment. May not be your actual teacher. Could be though. You could send them a nice email. You could tell your grandpa that you like spending time with him, even if this is over Zoom at the moment. There are many, many ways to fill a bucket. Bucket filling is fun and easy to do. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't take much time. And remember, when you fill someone else's bucket, you fill your own bucket too. When you're a bucket filler, you make your home, your school and your neighbourhood better places for all. Bucket filling makes everyone feel good. So why not decide to be a bucket filler today and every day? Just start each day by saying to yourself, I'm going to do something to fill someone's bucket today. And at the end of each day, ask yourself, did I fill a bucket today? I bet you'll be able to say yes. Yes, I did. That's the life of a bucket filler. And that is you. That is you, children. You can be bucket fillers. I just know it. Now, I really like that story. I think it's so, so true. I think that our buckets need filling all the time anyway, but I do think that we've been through a pretty tricky time, and we're still very, very much in this tricky time, and so we do need bucket fillers. So I am tasking you, alongside writing me poems and alongside keeping up with Mathletics, I'm now tasking you with being bucket fillers, and I want you to try and fill anybody's bucket that you can. Okay, and that's you too, parent agents, so you can fill some buckets. We need to make sure that people aren't taking anything out of each other's buckets, and I know that that's sometimes easy to do when you're feeling a bit grumpy, so can you please be bucket fillers for me this week? And I would like to hear about anything at all that you've done that is to do with filling buckets, and I would like to include some bucket filling ideas in our celebration assembly on Friday. So remember what I said at the beginning of this assembly about just being aware of the things that are on the news and how people are treating each other, and how that we must always remember that however we look, in whatever way that is, whether it is our skin colour or anything else, is not a way to determine how we treat people. We treat people with respect, one of our school values, no matter how they look or where they come from. So that's so important. And we stand up for people if they're not being treated in the right way. Okay, let us pray and think about our buckets. So I'm going to put my hands together and close my eyes, and you can join me if you wish. Dear God, help us to be bucket fillers. Help us to think of others and treat them with the same respect that everybody deserves. In your name, Amen. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your day, won't you? I hope to see some of you that are here, and I hope that if you're at home, you're enjoying some time outside as well as inside and working hard. And remember, if you send me anything, I will try to send you a little film back, because I'm thinking of you so much. Take care, guys. Have a good day.